And just because you are one doesn't mean you know it. And I really do think, and there was a study that CompTIA did before they were GTIA. It was last year, I think it was. And I was at their conference where they were doing their annual industry review. And one of the statements that they made was that they asked, as far as their annual interview, whether or not the MSP owner considered themselves a savvy businessman or a knowledgeable business person, and the rate was like 40% yes. And I think that a good number of that 40% are delusional. And I mean no insult to anybody. I include that in myself. Is at the end of the day, when we talk about standard business stuff, cash flow, payables, receivables, HR, constant improvement, all of that kind of fun stuff, a lot of, in every industry, but to the MSP, as we're talking today, a lot of us are fooling ourselves that we're much more competent than we possibly are. And I think that is one of those where in some cases we're successful, but we don't realize how lucky we are or how there were circumstances that led to it. And especially if you take a look at a lot of the MSPs who, when they started, there were still a lot of companies who employed people full time that weren't getting the benefit out of those people. So the value proposition was easy. We're cheaper and better in terms of the blinking lights.
Yes.
Okay. I think those days are they're not necessarily gone, but they're going.
Yeah.
So that message is not going to work as well. Because now we're replacing, I mean, how many times does an MSP replace an employee? Usually we're replacing another MSP at this point.
Right.
You know, and so the value proposition has to get back to we're going to do it cheaper than the other MSP, eek. Or what's the value we're going to drive? And the value we're going to drive, that it gets back to my whole commoditization. I hate that. So what's the value we can bring to the business? So your CIO buddy probably has